Your Excellency, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, the Executive Secretary of Tech Fund of this great nation of ours, the Vice Chancellor of these prestigious universities, Provost of colleges and Deans of faculties, heads of departments and units, members of the extra ministerial department, my colleagues, the gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, by the grace of God, Wednesday, the third day in the month of June 2026, we're here gathered at this special Sotudua Hall of the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University in commemoration of the 65th anniversary of the Founders' Day of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. And of course, only the deep can call to the deep. We have here seated distinguished Nigerians of international standing. But before I go much further, permit me to obey the dictates of protocol as I respectively ask the member of the high table and everybody here seated to please stand as we honor our country, Nigeria, for the national anthem. Please will remain standing with due respect for Greatify anthem. Tokumbo. The Greatify is a counterfeit. Greatify. We may be seated, please. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, all courtesies duly extended here. Just like I said much earlier, we have gentlemen of the press here seated to give visibility and publicity to the program we are having today in commemoration of the 65th anniversary of our prestigious university. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, permit me You are the chief host for today, and I want to start from you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, a former member of the Osun State House of Assembly, a former two-term Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, an ambassador of this country to several countries in the world. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, a distinguished Nigerian of international standing is here seated. His Excellency, Right Honorable Dr. Adejare Bello. For those of you who do not know, His Excellency, Right Honorable Dr. Adejare Bello graduated from the prestigious Faculty of Law, Oba Awan University. And of course, we have the Vice Chancellor of this university, a former head of Department of Agri-Economics, a former Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, a two-term Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, and by the grace of God, the 12th substantive Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Adebayo Simeon Sunday Bamire. Professor Bamire got first degree Ife, master's degree Ife, and PhD Ife. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, come in, please come again. I feel dazed and dazzled that I'm seeing for the first time flesh and blood the Executive Secretary of Tet Fund of this country. Very easygoing. I'm not looking bad, but I can see him smiling. Honestly, if it were to be in the years gone by, for that smile alone, he would be given a wife. But please don't quote me, St. Maria. Please don't quote me for Mama, please. He's here, flesh and blood, and he's not only a lover of this university, he's a lover of education, a lover of children, a father par excellence, a dutiful, handsome husband of a very beautiful woman. Is a man whom the Federal Republic of Nigeria has reposed unlimited confidence in to oversee the affairs, the financial arithmetics of all tertiary universities, all tertiary institutions we have in this country. Is a man found worthy in learning, in morals, in manners, and in character. You know, I said, Professor Bamire Bia Sunday. It is not a coincidence that we have an architect. You know, he is looking at the architectural masterpiece of this building. ETF Secretary, sir, I drove my heart for you. And that is Architect Sunday ECHONO. Sir, please remain standing. Let me give you a microphone so that we say it again tonight.
Great Ife. Thank you.
If I were you, I would clap much louder. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, sir. My Vice Chancellor, I know that you are mentally alert, that you have in between the two of you, the Executive Secretary of Tet Fund. Sir, whatever you want, ask now. Instead of you to be traveling to Abuja and be saying the one this or the other. Anything you ask, I know he will do it. Sir, it is not ordinary that somebody bears Sunday. Sunday is a holy day. Give it to Executive Secretary once again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there is no law that says you should not clap on Wednesday. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, a former president of the Nigerian Computer Society, a former Dean Faculty of Technology. By the grace of God, now the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Shola Aderomo. Professor Adeshola Aderomo also graduated from this university. Let me see your reactions to that. I have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Rokpo Akefala. Deputy Vice Chancellor Research, Innovation and Development, Professor Akani Akinyemi. The engine room of the university administration is here. The registrar, secretary to council, registrar, secretary to senate, registrar, secretary to congregation. Mr. Kamaldeen Adetoji Bakare. He also graduated from here. And of course, we have the university librarian, Dr. Kemi Fadihan. Yes, I have.
Chair.
Bukola, please see me here. The university bossa, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Abogan.
Great Ife.
Permit me Yes, I also have here on the high table somebody who will advise appropriately the Executive Secretary of Tech Fund. I see him and I'm very happy. He's the technical advisor to the ES Tech Fund, Alhaji Buhari Mukailu.
Great Ipe.
Give it to him. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, sir. For the sake of this gathering, I'm aware, though I'm not a mathematician, that if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then C is equal to A. Everybody on this high table are product of Ife. Let me see your reactions to that. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, I'm sorry, the Bible says, ask and shall be given unto you. I won't say more than that, sir. The Quran says, Idina Serantale Mustaqim. The Lord has shown you the way. In between the two of you is the financial engine room of the university, technical colleges, polytechnics, NCE education. It is an honor to have a Nigerian of international standing in this university. Honestly, I dreamt of you, sir. I dreamt of you today. And my dream normally comes true. I saw in my dream that the DVC was rushing to the VC, and the VC was asking what is happening. And the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council was dancing. What is happening here? And they were saying, O Tisheo, Baba Tisheo, Onti Aumbere, Baba Tisheo. The Pro-Chancellor or the DVC will interpret that into you, sir. Which means he has done it. what we think is architecturally and financially and materially impossible, Executive Secretary of TETFON has done it for us. I want to say, sir, that the university decided to declare today lecture free. You will still see some of our students, and we are trying to control the crowd here so that we will not have medical anything here. Dr. Architect Erivo Inene, am I right? Please, let's put hands together for him. That's the Director of Strategic Planning. Please, let's appreciate these people. Dr. Taiwo Adedeji Lukman. That's the Zonal Coordinator of the Southwest. Dr. Zingina Suleiman, Director of Research, Development, and Center of Excellence. I have here Engineer Patrick Tunde Olakumi, Director at the Office of ES. And of course, Dr. Taiwo. Dr. Taiwo, where are you? Dr. Taiwo, they just wrote Dr. Taiwo here. Check. I have Professor Damilola Taye. Test. Tokumbo, where are you? Please come here. Tokumbo? Or Buki? The two of you, please come. Okay. And of course, permit me to recognize Mr. Tokwe Ogunshemo. And of course, I have And of course, permit me to recognize my colleagues here. The media team at the TET Fund, Amako John Kayode. Please put your hands together for this wonderful cameraman. And of course, we have Maria Joseph. I love this name, Maria Joseph. The name of Jesus' mother is Maria. The name of the father is Joseph. And somebody combines the two. Put your hands together for that lady. Yes, I have the members of council here. Professor Jimon Faraday is a member of council from the Faculty of Agriculture. Professor Hosseini. Professor Hosseini, where are you? Professor Abiodun Ayoka. And of course, Dr. John Etebom. John Pillar.
Of the greatest effect. Articulate effect.
He was the former Secretary General of the Student Union. Mr. Vice Chancellor, all custody extended. Permit me to say that we shall be doing this introduction in phases. We recognize the Chairman Committee of Deans and the Provost and all the Deans here. After the first item here, we recognize you duly and you stand up with your identity. On this note, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Permit me to call on the chairman, Events Planning Committee of this anniversary, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Prince Adeshola Aderomo, to formally welcome all of us to this occasion. That is not the way to clap for a DVC.
Great Ife. Dynamic Ife. Articulate Ife. Great. Thank you so much. I also graduated from here, all my degrees, and I stay in Awu Hall throughout my 45 years. I stay in Awu Hall, so thank you so much. The Executive Secretary of Third Fund, Architect SONNY ECHONO, we really want to thank you for coming to Great Ife. Let me also say that the whole of Third Fund is here today. The office in Abuja is already closed. We have the ES and the entire directors of Third Fund here today. And I'm sure now today we can take a lot of decisions here, a lot of approvals. Thank you so much for coming, sir. I also recognize all the directors from Third Fund. We want to really appreciate you for coming from Abuja to this place. It's not easy to travel from Abuja to this place, but we want to really appreciate you for joining us down here. Thank you so much for coming. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Governing Council, sir, I want to really recognize you. Thank you so much for the good work you are doing. The internal member of council, I recognize you. Thank you so much. I will not be able to mention your name one by one, but I recognize all of you. Thank you so much. Senate members present here, I want to appreciate all of you for coming here today. The Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Adebayo Simeon Bamire, thank you so much. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, I want to recognize you, Professor Kifala, thank you so much. Deputy Vice Chancellor Research, Innovation and Development, you're welcome, sir. The Registrar of the University, you are highly appreciated. The Librarian, Dr. Fadia, thank you so much. The Boss of the University, thank you so much. Let me also recognize the Provost of the Postgraduate College. Thank you so much for coming. Provost College of Health Sciences, you are welcome. Let me also recognize the Chairman, Committee of Deans, thank you so much. And all deans present here, I can see all the deans of faculty sitting down here today. I want to really recognize you and thank you for coming. Directors of centers and units, I appreciate your coming. Heads of departments, members of local organizing committee, can you stand up for recognition? The members of LOC, please stand up for recognition. We are about 24 of us working to ensure that we achieve this. We are able to ensure that this event is live. You can sit down. Thank you so much. It's a week-long event, and then we are wrapping up by Monday next week. Thank you so much for what you've been doing. Great Ife student. Great Ife. Great Ife. We want to appreciate you. Distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure on behalf of the local organizing committee of the 65th anniversary celebration of Obafemi Awolowo University to warmly welcome you all to this important occasion, marking another significant milestone in the history of our great university. Today's event is particularly remarkable because it brings together two critical aspirations that define the future of higher education and national transformation. That is, research-driven innovation and strategic investment in youth development, intercultural understanding, and sustainable nation building. Our anniversary theme, 65 years of excellence, honoring the past and engineering the future, aptly captures the journey of this institution from its humble beginning in 1961 to its emergence as one of the Africa's foremost universities, renowned for academic excellence, character development, impactful research, and society advancement. Though the university was formally established on the 8th of June 1961, the 65th anniversary is being commemorated through a week-long program of activities designed to celebrate our achievements, reflect on our legacy, and project our aspirations for the future. Today's event marks the third day of this historic celebration, and it occupies a very strategic place in the anniversary program because of its focus on research, innovation, youth empowerment, and national development. For 6.5 decades, this university has remained committed to producing globally competitive graduates, advancing knowledge through cutting-edge research, and contributing meaningfully to national development. As we celebrate this heritage, we are equally challenged to envision and build a future anchored on innovation, technology, collaboration, inclusiveness, and transformational leadership. It is therefore fitting that today's special lecture is being delivered by one of Nigeria's most distinguished architects, visionary, and transformational educational advisors, an advocate of research advancement, an exceptional statesman, an accomplished technocrat, and a highly respected son of Idoma land in Benue State. Congratulations, sir. Because I've been to Benue State for more than 8 years, from Ife to Benue State University, at least for 8 years. So I'm familiar with that terrain very well. So I want to welcome you, sir, Architect SONNY, ST ECHONO, FNIA, OON. Through the visionary intervention of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, under its leadership, tertiary institutions across Nigeria have witnessed significant improvements in infrastructure, academic staff development, research support, innovation ecosystems, and institutional capacity building. Sir, your presence here today is deeply appreciated, and we are confident that your lecture on driving national development through research and innovation will provide valuable insight into the critical role of universities and research institutions in shaping the future of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering is further enriched by the pre-launching of the 10 billion naira President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center of Excellence in Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment. This visionary initiative represents our collective commitment to promoting peace, intercultural understanding, youth leadership, entrepreneurship, policy dialogue, and social cohesion within Nigeria and beyond. The proposed center is envisioned as a world-class platform for research, leadership training, policy engagement, innovation, conflict resolution, and youth empowerment initiatives that will contribute significantly to national unity and sustainable development. As we commemorate 65 years of distinguished service to humanity, may this occasion inspire a new partnership between academia, government, industry, alumni, and development stakeholders towards building a more prosperous and knowledge-driven society. I wish to sincerely appreciate the Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Adebayo Simi Obamire. Can we just put our hands together for him? He gave the committee the free hand to really operate and to ensure that we have a successful anniversary. So this is the third day, and we are making progress. Thank you so much, my Vice Chancellor. I also want to appreciate all members of the local organizing committee, our sponsors, partners, alumni, friends of the university, and all stakeholders whose support and commitment continue to make this celebration successful. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Once again, I warmly welcome you to this memorable event and wish us all a fruitful and rewarding engagement. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
From the program I have here, before I move on to the next item, permit me to say that Professor Tokumbo Ilesami, the Provost, PJ College, where are you, sir? Please stand for recognition. Please. I want to use the Chairman Committee of Deans to appreciate all the Deans here present. And that is the Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Yinka Adeshina. And please, I would like to crave indulgence of the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council to appreciate somebody who made everything possible for the Vice-Chancellor to be here today. And that is the wife of the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Abosede Bamire. My VC is smiling. You're not there. And of course, we have Alaji Lawa Alagbe Rafiu. Please put together for him, part of the entourage of the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council. Alaji Sheko Nisekiru is in the house. And I know that one of my brothers here, when we were singing Great Ife Anthem, he was so energetic and he was doing all these things. By their fruits. Honorable Adewumi Lukman Abiola. It was so, I apologize for people who do not attend OAU here. So, sorry about that. The next item is special presentation 1. Special presentation. And I want to appreciate and officially recognize the Chairman Ceremonials Committee, Professor Solomon Adekola. Thank you. Please stand for recognition, Prof. Special presentation.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Louder. Africa's most beautiful campus, cultures vigilant, progressive, alert against all oppression, forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great affair, I love you.
Africa's most beautiful campus, cautious, vigilant, progressive, alert against all oppression, forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great affair, I love you. There's only one great event in the universe. Another great event is a counterfeit. Great, 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 great. Great event, great event. Africa's most beautiful campus. Cautious, vigilant, progressive, alert against all oppression, forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great event, I love you, there's only one great event in the universe, another great event is your counterfeit, great, 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 great.
The university itself is strange. to the Yoruba culture. The very idea of the university, just bringing some people in separate from the town. You know that the university itself is separate from the town. The city is far away. In fact, the people in the city, they refer to this as campus. When they are coming here, it's like a sacred space that they... Sacred space or gated community? It's a gated community, all right, but it's one that they have respect for.
On my first day as a student, it was most impressive because the drive, the way we drove in from the main gate of the campus towards the campus, after making a bend, a panoramic view of the whole campus was just before us. I like the idea that the buildings move up and down with the landscape, undulates, steps here, there, you know, it just fitted into the landscape without destroying it. The hill behind gave it a very good background. I thought it was most beautiful.
For many, this collection of buildings would have seemed like just a picturesque place, a place where you see the buildings as background. But here, you live with these buildings, and the buildings themselves, you become part of it. It's very difficult when you take a typology that is not part of us and you use the international style as the basis for embedding it in an African context.
This is not modern architecture, just replicating what you have, you know, Bauhaus or wherever. No, this is modern architecture that must fit West Africa, that must fit Nigeria. It's not like some kind of pastiche. You're now trying to put Yoruba on top of Western and there's a discordant tune. No, everything flows together. The buildings are not oppressively massive, like you had the early colonial expressions of architecture of power. Some of the buildings are huge in terms of form, but they are made light, very friendly, very artistically expressive.
If you take, for example, the architecture of palaces, like the one in Oyo, and the one in Akure, and the one in Ile-Ife, we have these posts that are prominent at the veranda, or what is called the portico of this traditional system. You know, we have this that is prominent. But you know what has happened on the campus is that you have an integration of these sculptures in a different way, in this modernist interpretation. It is different from Nigerian architecture. But when one goes into the detail of it, there's an attempt to also integrate some traditional elements in terms of super graphics and the decorations on the wall.
Even at the beginning of the library building, as you climb up, you will see the obelisk that is here. It's a reference to the Opa Oromiyan, the staff of the Oromiyan in Ife.
The courtyard system that we are used to in the traditional Nigerian architecture was interpreted in a new way. You have courtyards in the buildings themselves. It is a range of courtyards, as if there's a transition from a small scale to a medium scale and to a larger scale.
Now, you see, the open space that we find here, it's endeared itself so much, the students call it motion ground. You keep moving. And if you look at the history of the university, it's like the courtyard in Oxford University, where you have to cross in a reverential manner. What I do understand by this, certainly it goes beyond this campus. The international style itself is appropriated in many places. It's used the way that the locals, they understand it. It's formal where it ought to be formal, and it's informal. Some people have compared some of the buildings with a train station. They are very long, but to stand at one end and see somebody at the other end, there's something very African about the idea that collectively you can see yourselves. You don't enter the building straight, you go into the building and it creates a small space for you to actually assemble before you begin to take the staircase. And in the original thing, there were no doors. It just means that the external flows into the internal. Some don't like it, but the experience is wonderful.
You could see that most of the buildings on campus have the north-south orientation. That means they were longer in the east-west direction to capture the southwest winds, to make sure that the infiltration of the sun was minimal. There's a lot of attempt to protect the openings, to make sure that there's no direct infiltration of solar radiation.
If we're going to have microclimates that are conducive to learning and to teaching, they must
Yes, thank you very much. We want to pause at this moment
climate and not seek
because of our time. We're very conscious. Please, thank you very much for that. Your Excellency, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, may I humbly invite you to the podium to give your good message for this occasion. Let me see your reactions, ladies and gentlemen.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, and the Deputy Vice Chancellors here present, the Executive Secretary, our guests, my teachers there, professors, doctors, and the rest of you, I say good morning to you. Our dear students, I thank you for your attendance in this hall this morning. I also thank the entourage of the Executive Secretary all the way from Abuja. Let me commend the Vice Chancellor and his team in the management to have secured the attendance of the Executive Secretary to be here this day. You know, the whole of last week was for Salah celebrations. And the man and his team wouldn't have had the opportunity of doing anything serious in their offices. And this week, that is the beginning of working days, only Monday was spared. The Vice Chancellor told me that they have arrived since yesterday, just to give us this honor. God will continue to honor you and your team. We appreciate it. About 48 hours ago, when the Vice Chancellor called on me, because the arrangement of the 65th anniversary is that the external members will get involved right from, on Monday, the grand finale. And from there, we proceed to council meetings. He now called me about 48 hours ago and said, Mr. Chairman, sir, I wouldn't know if you'll be chanced to come on campus and receive our Executive Secretary of TED Fund. Hearing that alone told my psyche that whatever I'm doing, I must leave it and make sure I'm here today. Sir, in this state, about 72 days to governorship election. We're having our election precisely on the 15th of August. And I'm one of the chairmen of campaign council. I had to tell my people, you have to spare me. Today, I must be on campus to receive the Executive Secretary. So we welcome you sincerely, sir. And we appreciate all you have done and the ones you will do. The MC the other time said, we should ask. We have started asking, and by God's grace, we will get what we're supposed to get. We know you have your budget year in, year out, and it is not meant for us alone, but as an architect yourself, I was calling his attention to this building. When I got here, or when I left something years ago, I've never seen anything serious that has changed. And I told him, I said, see what somebody, a human being like yourself, put on ground 60-something, years ago, here in Ife. And it is still there. Most of our roads that were tarred in those days by Awolowo, they are still there. I'm saying this, if you have the opportunity tomorrow, please behave like Awolowo. Put something on ground. Let there be legacies for people to see. There is nobody that must have passed through this university that will not appreciate it. Anytime I pass through, when I'm going to Sabo side and the rest of it, I'm still very much proud of it. And I know that you will add to the beauty. Your presence here today will add to the beauty. And to students that have spared their time to be here, it is for you. The management of the university is doing everything humanly possible to make your learning conducive so that in no distant time, you come out in flying colors and become important people like this. Professors, see this man here. He retired as a permanent secretary. He was in the Ministry of Education, Agri, Communication, all of that. And barely after retirement, just 2 months thereafter, he was appointed Executive Secretary to handle TED Fund. 2 months after his retirement. You can see that, God is wonderful. But before God can be so wonderful to you, you must do something too. And that is exactly what you are doing now. Please face it. One day, you will come up like this, and people will be clapping for you. 30-something years back, in fact, to come here many a time was not as easy as today in those days. So we thank God that we have today. So, sir, without wasting your time, we appreciate you a lot. On behalf of the council, we thank you for coming, for sparing the time. And, to move around Nigeria nowadays, it's not a tea party. May God Almighty take absolute control of the security of this nation. The President, Commander-in-Chief, and his team, they are doing everything to make sure things change for better. But the problem is you and I. You and I, in the sense that the president and the security cannot be everywhere. It is you and I that will man post and to hold forth. They can only make money available for security to be there. But see what people are doing. Nigerians have turned kidnapping into a very big business. That it is by organizing one or two people to kidnap people that will fetch you money. When people like ECHONO in those days decided that it is the MC that is disturbing me. In those days, they decided that we will get there. We get there to the top. And by God's grace, they are there now. So please, as students, plan your ways, and God with you, you will get to all these places these people are. I thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I wish you a safe journey back to Abuja. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Dr. Adejare Bello, and I must say that vintage you, sir, a former speaker, a former Nigerian ambassador, he has spoken and he has spoken well. See thou a man diligent in his duty, he will stand before kings and not mere men. I want to say that according to what the speaker said now, barely 2 months after his retirement, the result of being diligent is to be given more responsibility. I want to thank God that His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu found you worthy, sir, to be the Executive Secretary of TET Fund. Not because of any university, because of OAU. I have a call on the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebayo Simeon Bamere, to come and speak. And let's hear how our Vice Chancellor will address this gathering. You can do much better for the Vice Chancellor. And I want to say that I've been informed formally that this program is being beamed live, streamed online. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me welcome everyone to this gathering today and really thank God for giving us the opportunity to be here. The program was planned and is actually taking place right away. We want to thank God for that. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, my own chairman, Right Honorable Adejare Bello. You are welcome, sir. And thank you for just taking us like that. But we just felt it would not be nice for you not to be around. You know, when we are bringing in somebody that had been so supportive of this system, we felt it would be need for you to be around. And I want to really thank you that almost immediately you said you change all your plans and ensure that you are around, and you are around now. Thank you very much. May God continue to honor you. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor G.A. Aderomu, who doubles as the chairperson of the 65th anniversary of this great institution. Thank you very much for all you've been able to do and what you are still doing, just to ensure that we have a successful and fruitful 65th anniversary. Thank you very much. And I also want to recognize the team as well, the local organizing committee. You have done well. We started on the 1st, And now, this is the third day. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize the Deputy Vice Chancellors, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Akinfala, thank you very much. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Development, Professor Akiyemi, thank you. The University Registrar, Professor, Mr. Kamardin Bakari. The University Librarian, Dr. Mrs. Fadehan. The University Portfolio, Finance Portfolio, Mrs. Abogan, the University Bossa. Thank you very much. Let me recognize the council members that are here. Professor Faridi, highly recognized. Professor Oseni, thank you. Dr. Etebom, merci beaucoup. Professor Ayoka, thank you very much. Now, let me come back here to specially thank and appreciate our guest lecturer, architect SONNY, ST, ECHONO, FNIA, ON. Thank you very much for finding time to be here today. To be sincere to you, like I told you, we never thought you have this time to be able to commit to us, to come. But you left all you were to do and came with your directors, bringing the entire Third Fund office into OAU. We are really, really very grateful. Thank you for this that you have done, this honor that you have done us. May God continue to honor you. Alaji Buhari, thank you very much. The directors here are very wonderful. They've been supporting the university in various ways. We really want to thank you all for being part of this occasion. We continue to pray for you, and God will continue to listen to your prayers. Now, the provost of the college, of the postgraduate college, thank you very much. The provost of the College of Health Sciences, you appreciated. The chairman committee of deans and all deans here present. The chairman committee of Professor Adeshina, is he here? Okay, thank you very much. And then I have to recognize my wife here, Dr. Mrs. Bamire. Thanks for taking good care of me, to ensuring that I have the opportunity of doing this work as needed. Now, let me recognize all our deans, our directors, our heads of departments, all professors here present. Great IFE students. Great IFE students. Great. We are really very lucky. We are lucky in the sense that we have here present today the source of funds for tertiary education in Nigeria. And with this team, I've not seen any university that had this opportunity. And so we are really very, very grateful. We are not taking it for granted that you have to come all the way from Abuja to Ife, knowing fully well that even though we've been having a repair of the roads are very smooth, I would say, for now. So thank you very much. Let me also recognize the media. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. And then also, I want to recognize especially the friends and lovers of this great institution, as well as the alumni the global president. Is he around? Thank you very much, the entire alumni. Highly appreciated for all you've been doing. Well, today's event occupies a special place in the activities commemorating the 65th anniversary of our great university. For 65 years, this institution has remained a beacon of academic excellence, character development, groundbreaking research, innovation, and national transformation. On behalf of the Governing Council, the Senate, staff, students, alumni, and the entire university community, I extend a very special welcome to our distinguished guest lecturer, Architect SONNY ECHONO, FNIA, ON, the Executive Secretary of TET Fund. Sir, we are deeply honored by your presence and sincerely grateful for your unwavering commitment to the advancement of tertiary education in Nigeria. Under your visionary leadership, TET Fund has become one of the most impactful institutions supporting higher education in our nation. Through strategic interventions in infrastructure development, research funding, academic staff training, ICT enhancement, innovation support, library development, and conference sponsorships, TET Fund has continued to strengthen the capacity of Nigerian universities to compete globally. Thank you very much for this. At Obafemi University, the impact of TET Fund interventions is evident across our campus. From the gate, you see written on the gate, TET Fund special intervention. And then the academic buildings and upgraded laboratories to staff development programs, as well as in terms of significantly enhancing our teaching, learning, research, and community engagement services. We also look forward to the actualization of critical projects currently receiving attention, particularly the high-impact CBN project for the construction of a new Senate complex and the special high-impact intervention project for engineering and technology aimed at rehabilitating, modernizing, and equipping our core engineering workshops. Again, we want to thank you for this. We had this discussion yesterday evening, and we've been assured, in fact, that in no long time, the work on this Senate building will continue. Permit me, therefore, to publicly express our heartfelt appreciation to the Executive Secretary and the entire management of TET Fund for their steadfast support for our university. We value this partnership immensely and look forward to sustaining it for many years to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate 65 years of impactful existence, we proudly reflect on the remarkable journey of OAU since its establishment in 1961. Our university has consistently distinguished itself as one of Africa's leading centers of learning, scholarship, and innovation. Over decades, we have produced generations of distinguished alumni who have excelled in governance, academia, medicine, law, engineering, agriculture, and the creative industries. Their contributions continue to shape national development and enrich global discourse. For now, I want to tell you that we have a lot of staff that are in various organizations, leading various institutions and agencies of government. And we have vice chancellors all around. We can count about 7 of them all around there, Ilorin, Lagos. Let me just mention those few ones there. Unilesia, they are there. Many of them. We have registrars, bursars all around. And so we want to give glory to God that we are coming up as expected. In the area of research and innovation, OAU has maintained a strong tradition of intellectual leadership, as scholars continue to make significant contributions in critical areas, including public health, agriculture, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, conflict resolution, and sustainable development. Today, we remain one of the leading research-intensive universities in Africa. We're expanding international collaborations, increasing research visibility, and growing partnerships with governments, industries, and development agencies. We have continued to invest strategically in digital transformation, entrepreneurship development, aimed at addressing contemporary societal challenges. When you get to our ICT center there, I think we've actually discussed. I'm sure the ES will have the opportunity of seeing through most of these areas. The ICT center, we are trying to turn that place into a Silicon Valley for Nigeria, and that will be based in that area. Most of the buildings are now being transformed. We actually look at that place as an area that we are trying to restructure, and it's coming up well. These achievements reinforce our conviction that universities must be more than institutions for awarding degrees. They must serve as engines of national development, innovation, and human advancement. It is therefore fitting that the theme of today's lecture, Driving National Development Through Research and Innovation, speaks directly to the future of higher education and nation building. No nation can achieve sustainable growth without deliberate investment in knowledge creation, technological advancement, and innovative problem solving. Universities occupy a central position in this process because they generate the ideas, technologies, and human capital required to transform societies and drive economic development. As we look to the future, our vision remains clear. We aspire to build a university that continues to rank among the best globally, a university that deepens its culture and excellence, expands its frontiers of research and innovations, strengthens partnerships with industry, produces globally competitive graduates, and delivers transformative solutions to national and global challenges. This vision is reflected in the proposed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center of Excellence in Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment, which we are pre-launching today. The center is conceived as a strategic platform for promoting intercultural understanding, leadership development, peace building, youth inclusion, civic engagement, entrepreneurship, and innovative capacity building. At a time when our nation and the global community face challenges associated with social fragmentation, youth unemployment, identity conflicts, and declining social values, the center will serve as a hub for constructive dialogue, policy engagement, research, leadership training, and youth empowerment initiatives. The proposed 10 billion naira endowment fund for the center represents not merely an investment in physical infrastructure, but an investment in the future of our youth, our nation, and humanity at large. It's a bold commitment to fostering unity, tolerance, innovation, responsible citizenship, and sustainable development. While we remain profoundly grateful to TETFund for providing the foundational support for this initiative, I think there's need for us to really commend and give a round of applause to TETFund for supporting this initiative. Thank you very much once again, the ES and the team. We also call on corporate organizations, philanthropists, alumni, development partners, and all well-meaning Nigerians to join us in bringing this noble vision to fruition. Distinguished guests, today's gathering is both a celebration of our past achievements and a reaffirmation of our commitment to the future. The journey ahead requires collaboration, visionary leadership, sustained investment in education, and unwavering confidence in the transformative power of research and innovation. I do not doubt that today's lecture by a highly respected guest lecturer will provide valuable insights into how tertiary institutions can more effectively drive national development through impactful research, innovation, strategic partnerships, and sustainable funding mechanisms. Once again, our guest lecturer, Architect SONNY ECHONO. We thank you for honoring our invitation and for outstanding contributions that you are making to higher education development in Nigeria. To all our guests and participants, I warmly welcome you to OAU and wish you a rewarding, memorable, and intellectual enriching experience throughout this anniversary celebration. I enjoin you to please be patient when you have to listen to the guest lecturer dish out his experience and exposure in the area of driving research and innovation. Thank you for your attention, and God bless you all. Thank you.
So thank you, Vice Chancellor, for that speech. The next item on this list that we have for the events of today is the citation of the distinguished guest lecturer, which will be delivered by Dr. Oluwadamilola Adejumo. Can you please come forward, please?
May I kindly request the guest lecturer to please stand and remain standing as the citation is being read. The Chairman of Council, sir. Sunday, St. ECHONO was born at Otukpo on December 16, 1962. He had his early education at St. Mary's Primary School before proceeding to Jos to complete his primary education at St. Teresa's Primary School, and thereafter went for his secondary education at St. Mulumba's College. Sunday was an exceptional student, graduating as the best student in the class of 1978 with a Division 1 in the West African School Certificate Examination. He was a well-rounded student who not only excelled in academics, but he also excelled in soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Based on his brilliance, excellent oratory skills, unusual confidence, and clear leadership potentials, he was appointed to lead the debating society and the quiz club at his secondary school. This indeed was the beginning of his journey to shouldering responsibilities and showcasing excellence and exceptional leadership capabilities. In 1978, following the demise of his father, Sunday abandoned his desire, albeit temporarily, for academic pursuits abroad. He enrolled at the Murtala College of Arts, Science and Technology in Makurdi for his A-levels, and based on his excellent performance, he was admitted to the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria in 1980 to study architecture. He graduated with a BSc degree in 1983 and a MSc degree in 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, during his graduate studies, excellence remained his watchword, and his commitment to excellence was recognized with the award of the Best Life Project upon completion of his studies. He followed this up with his recognition with the Best All-Round Performance Award in the Nigerian Institute of Architects Professional Practice Examination in 1989. Ladies and gentlemen, his quest for knowledge and personal development led him to acquire additional academic qualifications even while working actively. He obtained a postgraduate diploma from the University of Calabar. He went back home to Benue State in 2004 to obtain an MBA degree, And he went to Italy at the University of Turin in 2011 to obtain a master's degree in procurement management. Ladies and gentlemen, as a demonstration of his commitment to lifelong learning, he recently completed a PhD degree in leadership and governance at the University of Abuja. Wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. He's currently undertaking and in pursuit of a second PhD in knowledge management at the Galilee Institute in Israel. Though he had initially abandoned, his desire to study abroad, he didn't let that desire to die. And as we can see, that desire was reawakened in due season. Ladies and gentlemen, with persistence, desires and dreams truly do come true. After his NYSC in 1986, he had a brief stint with Benue State Housing Agency before joining the Federal Civil Service. In January 1987, deeply inspired by his father's legacy of service and integrity as a quintessential civil servant, he also determined to become a civil servant. And therefore, Sonny is not your regular civil servant. He's a thoroughbred civil servant and indeed a chip of the old block. Between 1987 and 2005, he served in various management positions at the Federal Ministry of Work and Housing, leaving an undeniable trail of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, time will not permit me to read all of these capacities where he served. But with the advent of the procurement reforms in Nigeria, SONNY ECHONO was among the first set of civil servants deployed to the Budget Monitoring and Price Intelligence Unit in 2005. Among his cohort, his leadership potential stood out. And by 2006, he was appointed the head of Team A with the responsibility for procurement review and certification of projects for several ministries, including the Ministry of Works, Transport, FCT, Administration, and other key federal government agencies. Mr. Chairman, sir, Sunday's 35-year service has not only been exemplary, but it is one that has been marked with distinction, competence, unquestionable integrity, and remarkable achievements. Over 35 years, he has enjoyed the admiration and respect of his peers and colleagues. Of course, little wonder that all his directors are here with us this morning. And he was at the epicenter of several policy formulation and reforms in the Nigerian civil service. Again, time will not permit me, to reel out all of these reforms, but let me mention specifically the ICT sector roadmap, which he was part of the master plan that was created by government. Let me also mention his contribution to policy reforms and development in housing, urban development, harmonization of financial regulations by the Public Procurement Commission, and so many others. Ladies and gentlemen, Architect Sunday ECHONO has served in several capacities. He has served as Director of Procurement in 5 key ministries. In 2014, he was appointed Permanent Secretary in the Federal Civil Service, and he served as Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, at the Ministry of Communications, and at the Federal Ministry of Education before he retired in the year 2022. Mr. Chairman, sir, retired but not tired, Sunday was still very much active, and its uncommon ability to bring about just the right ideas, the right visions, and deep insights for reform was sought for. In March 2022, just about 2 months after what he thought was to be his retirement, he was appointed as the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. TED Fund, under his leadership, has shifted focus from just mere brick and mortar buildings to a research-driven, innovation-led intervention model. He has pioneered novel reforms and innovations. Permit me to mention just a few of these innovations. We have the TED Fund Alliance for Innovative Research, the TED Fair. We have the TERAS, that's the Tertiary Education Research Applications and Services Ecosystem. He has facilitated partnerships between Nigerian universities and several world-class institutions across the globe. His leadership at TED Fund has undoubtedly been and continues to be one with many distinctions. Apart from his service at State Fund, his service to the profession of architecture has also been very commendable and impressive. He started serving as secretary of the admissions committee of the Institute of Architects in 1991. He moved to become a chairman of the disciplinary committee before he rose in 2019 to become the 28th president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. He also served on several boards and councils, including the Board of Architectural Education, Architects Registration Council, NESRIA, IITA, NIPOST, UBEC, TED Fund Board, and Global Partnership for Education, among others. He attended several management courses and workshops at top institutions across the globe, including at the Oxford University, Harvard Business School, Columbia University Business School, Institute of Development Studies in Indonesia, International Law Institute in the United States of America, and so many others. Architect SONNY ECHONO is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Association for Education, now Academic Administration and Planning. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Building, and so many other fellowships which he has gotten on merit and on the ground of excellence. He's a recipient of several awards of excellence from both local and international organizations. Permit me to mention specifically, Mr. Chairman, in recognition of his patriotism and meritorious service to the nation, Architect SONNY ECHONO was conferred with the prestigious national honor of Officer of the Order of the Niger in 2022. He has also received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Public Service for his outstanding contribution to educational reforms in Nigeria. He's also a distinguished alumnus of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Architect ECHONO is widely traveled, and he has presented over 50 papers at national and international fora. He's married with children. Chairman, sir, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you today a distinguished technocrat, an administrator of administrators, a seasoned administrator with over 3 decades of experience in the Nigerian civil service, yet without any blemish or scandal. A man who served excellently and earned a reputation for integrity, institutional reform, and a visionary approach to educational infrastructure and human capital development. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the retired but not tired architect of modern TED Fund, Architect SONNY ECHONO.
Please be seated. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council of the Bafemi Awolowo University, my dear brother, the Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Registrar, the Bursar, the University Librarian, members of Council here present, members of faculty, my very dear students of the university, Great Ife. I also want to recognize my colleagues from TED Fund. And while I was standing, I saw one of my successors, the immediate past president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Architect Mobolaji Adeniyi Komin. I want to especially recognize you. She was only the second female president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol by saying, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the gentlemen of the press, I look forward to your robust reporting. I am particularly delighted that I'm speaking to a large body of students here present, because the future belongs to you. And half
indeed most of what I'll be talking about relate to how you navigate that future and create meaning for the purpose for which you are here. Let me begin by conveying my deepest appreciation to the Vice Chancellor of the University for the very thoughtful initiative of inviting me to share my thoughts with you today on this vital topic, and to congratulate the university for the celebration of your 65th anniversary as one of the greatest and first-generation universities in this country. I want to commend successive leadership of the university from your very modest beginning, first as a university established by the regional government in 1961, to the takeover of the university in 1975. It is great to know that Great Ife, as fondly called due to its remarkable accomplishments, started with only 5 faculties, but have grown today to as many as 15 faculties, 118 departments, 19 research centers, and over 32,000 students in various fields of specialization. With the renaming of the university in 1987, in the former premier of the Western region, who, as has been widely acknowledged today, is Nigeria's foremost educationist. So it is a fitting tribute that the university that has so many accomplished lecturers, researchers, administrators produced was named after him. The theme of your anniversary is Legacy of Excellence, the Future of Impact. And that is why I felt it is so apt that those who will be shaping that future and those who will live in that future will share in today's lecture. The Obafemi Awolowo University has lived to the ideals of its founding fathers as a breeding ground for erudite scholars, legal luminaries, successful businessmen, diplomats, accomplished technocrats and administrators, including politicians. And you also, again, you have the distinction of perhaps the only university that have produced so many awardees of the Nigerian National Merit Award. And this has set you apart as indeed a center of excellence. Again, it's also not surprising that TED Fund over the last 10 years have established a total of 30 centers of excellence across the country. Out of these, only about 16 are in universities, others are in polytechnics and colleges of education. Yet, OAU is housing 2 of those centers of excellence. So permit me to pay tribute to the pioneer and successive vice chancellors of the university for sustaining the legacies of its founding fathers. Yours have remained a symbol of commitment and purposeful leadership. And I want to particularly commend the current Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebayo, Simeon, Sunday, I learned about that today, Bamire, for bringing a unique combination of his intellectual prowess and administrative experience to bear in the administration of the university. He is providing focused and purposeful leadership for ensuring the stability of the institution and the preservation of its unique identity. This is how a scholar administrator can build bridges between the university and the larger community. So straight to my lecture. The focus of this lecture is on research and innovation. And I will start by profiling some basic definitions. Research is generally understood as a systematic process of investigation aimed at discovering new knowledge, validating existing ideas, solving identified problems or improving current systems and practices. According to Creswell, who is often quoted as the father of research, research involves a process of steps used to collect and analyze information or data to increase our understanding of a topic or an issue. Research has various classifications. It may be scientific, social, technological, medical, educational, or even policy related, depending on the field and the objectives that are intended. Innovation, on the other hand, refers to the practical application of ideas, discoveries, or research findings to create value. Innovation transforms theoretical knowledge into useful products, services, systems, or methods that solve societal problems. Some of the earliest scholars in the field of innovation economics describe innovation as the introduction of new products, new production methods, new markets, or new forms of organization capable of driving economic growth. Although research and innovation are oftentimes discussed separately, they are actually very closely related and connected. Because research creates knowledge, while innovation turns that knowledge into practical and useful results. Without research, innovation lacks depth and lasting value. While without innovation, research findings may remain in libraries and journals with little impact on the larger society. A country's progress largely depends on its ability to generate knowledge, to apply science, to foster innovation, and to convert ideas into practical solutions for society. It is obvious that leading economies had advanced by investing in research and innovation, impacting sectors such as industry, healthcare, agriculture, transport, security, and digital technology. Globally, the focus has shifted from reliance on natural resources to prioritizing knowledge, technology, creativity, and innovation. And that is why some of the richest countries in the world today, like the United States, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, and so on, are those who have been able to harness their intellectual assets. While countries that are still depending on natural resources, like the Democratic Republic of Congo, and to some extent, even our own dear country, are at the nadir of that steps in advancement. So the intellectual knowledge, we talk about a knowledge economy. The assets that you have and how you are able to improve, how you are able to effectively harness and add value to your resources is what counts in today's world, not what is given to you by nature or buried in the ground. So rather than exporting crude oil, for example, you are supposed to process it, add value, and even the byproducts from that in terms of fertilizer and other uses, and even the asphalt that we have on our roads will be things that will help you to leapfrog the development ladders. One of the key or important issues that have shaped the evolution of research and innovation in the 21st century is globalization. The technological advancement that accompanied it and the digital transformation that we are witnessing, disruptive technologies across all sectors. Also, there's the increasing competitiveness among nations in trying to fight for resources. You see what is going on around the world today. The Strait of Hormuz has become a pet name known by everybody because of its strategic importance to global transport and the vital natural resources that pass through there, particularly oil. So there is an increasing drive to invest heavily in research institutions, in technology hubs, innovation parks, and higher education systems because it is recognized that knowledge is one of the most valuable resources in the modern economy. The application of research and innovation cuts across virtually every aspect of human life. In healthcare, medical research had led to the development of vaccines, treatment procedures, diagnostic equipment, and disease prevention strategies that continue to save millions of lives globally. You all recall not long ago that during the COVID-19 pandemic, for instance, countries with strong research and innovation systems were able to rapidly develop vaccines and public health responses that helped reduce the virus's spread. In agriculture, research and innovation has contributed to improved crop varieties, mechanized farming systems, irrigation technology, and food preservation methods that support food security and increase agricultural productivity. Notably, countries such as Brazil, India, and China have invested significantly in agricultural research institutions, resulting in major improvements in food production and their own export capacity. Similarly, innovation in engineering and transportation has transformed urban mobility, infrastructure development, and industrial productivity. In the same vein, digital innovation has also revolutionized communication. Our financial systems, we make payments using our phones these days. Our education delivery systems, now we are encouraging the hybrid mode, that you don't have to be all in a particular space. Education is not limited by the size of classrooms anymore, but you can actually leverage on digital literacy, and you can online lessons take place in almost all our institutions. Again, another major area where this has manifested is in e-commerce. You know, we have transformed from the years where we all go to the markets to buy goods and services, or we go to shops. Today, you can order practically anything online, and they get delivered to you. You also leverage on the payment systems, and you can pay with all sorts of credit and debit cards rather than using cash. Remarkably, research and innovation also contributes to industrial growth and economic diversifications. Nations with strong innovation systems tend to have higher productivity levels because industries can improve production processes. They reduce operational costs and develop new products that can compete globally. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in Europe, the OECD, investment in research and development remains one of the strongest drivers of long-term economic competitiveness. Furthermore, research supports national security and social stability. Studies on conflict management, migration, social behavior, cybersecurity, and intelligence gathering help governments develop more effective approaches to addressing insecurity and developing response to social unrest. Indeed, there is no better time than now to make this because as we all know, even the global positioning system that we use today is a product of research. And it can help you to navigate wherever you want to go. It is helping the military in their surveillance systems. And in the adoption of drones technology, for example, have also made modern warfare less human-dependent and more scientific or technology-driven. Research supports other means, the education system in particular, because with research, universities are expected not only to teach existing knowledge, but they also create new knowledge, and they generate new ideas that improve society. This is why globally ranked universities are often assessed mainly based on the quality of their research output, their innovation impact, and industry collaboration. Nigerian universities have tended to lag behind this, and I will explain why in a short while. But we are also glad that here in Ife, some of these strides are also being recorded. I should also recall that countries like the United States, Germany, South Korea, China, and Singapore became global economic powers through sustained investment in research and innovation ecosystems. For example, South Korea invested heavily in science and technology after the Korean War, transforming from a low-income nation into a leading technology-driven economy. And we all know the story. At independence, we were actually ahead of South Korea, Malaysia, and so many other countries. But because of the development trajectory that they adopted, today, their standard of living, their GDP, their income per capita are several times more than what Nigeria is recording today. And we are great consumers of their products. Many of us use Samsung phones. They are made in South Korea. You see cars like Daewoo, like Kia, and so many others are made in those countries. Yet, not very long ago, you know the story of Malaysia too, how they came here to take our palm oil seedlings and all of that. What is the difference? Research and innovation. Tapping into the knowledge, exploiting the innate talents of their people, and giving recognition to knowledge. So merit, hard work, become the pillars for building society. And when people strive through a competitive process to excel, and they get rewards based on that, countries grow. That is my thesis, and I'll be coming back to it in the closing stages. The landscape of the global economy is witnessing rapid changes. Globalization in particular is generating considerable new opportunities as well as new challenges. The impact of globalization on national economies is driven by significant progress in research and innovation as demonstrated by the plethora of scientific breakthroughs in space research, in biotechnology, in information and communications technology, in energy development, amongst others. Thus, as we pivot into the 21st century, the development of an appropriate level of research and innovation capacity will obviously continue to be a critical requirement for the development process in this country. So let me bring it back home and talk about the Nigerian context. What have we been able to do? Why are we not able to achieve our full potential? What do we need to do? And I'll address it in that order. In Nigeria, research and innovation activities are primarily conducted in universities and tertiary institutions like here, in specialized research institutes, and in government agencies. However, research outputs have not been able to make the desired contributions to national development due to a number of factors, including inadequate funding, weak industry collaboration, poor research infrastructure, and limited commercialization frameworks, taking research from our laboratories, from our libraries, from our offices into production, into industry, to create products, to create services, to improve systems, processes for consumption by the public, so that our own standard of living will be raised. We will develop capacity, create jobs, create wealth, and that way we have shared prosperity. Historically, Nigeria's approach to development has relied profoundly on the exploitation of natural resources, particularly crude oil. I like the fact that we call it crude, because even that approach is itself crude. We export cocoa, and then we import beverages, we import chocolates, and pay 10 times the cost of the cocoa we give them. This dependence gradually enfeebled investments in scientific research, manufacturing, and technological development. As a result, the country became more dependent on imported technologies, on foreign expertise, and externally developed solutions, even for our local problems. Over time, this has weakened the anticipated links between the universities, industry, and the national development planning. The good news is that the tide is changing, and it is being driven from the top. And for the students, I have a message for you at the end of my paper. We must give a lot of credit to the current president of our country. And I will tell you why when we go there. It's a difficult period we are going through, but the foundations that are being laid today will help us if we seize the initiative. We'll pass through this difficult tunnel, but at the end of it, we will naturally, like other countries like India and China were able to do. They were like us at a point. And they seized the initiative, and they created the systems and frameworks that facilitated the rapid transformation of their societies. We can do the same here, only if we commit to a few things I'll be talking to you about. The disconnect between research output and practical application has remained a major concern in Nigeria's higher education system. According to Adebayo, one of the long-standing weaknesses of research development in Nigeria has been the inability to create a sustainable linkage between the academia and industry. Our industries invest in research efforts in other countries. The contribution of industry to research in our institutions is one of the lowest in the world. They only come in to do token, maybe raise a chair. When you give an honorary degree to a chief executive, he makes a donation. But in terms of systemic collaboration, where the universities are seen as the centers for incubation of ideas, where an industry will say, I want to develop a new product. I want to expand my production. I want to improve. I have this problem, and I want a solution. They will approach the universities, where you have a collection of all the eggheads in various specializations assembled, and say, I'm giving you this challenge. Help me find a solution. And they will fund that process. And by the time you give them that solution, they will take it now to production. And so, rather than the crude methods that we are carrying out our agriculture today, you can now have systems. So somebody will be making harvesters, threshers. You can see some of these things are simple tools, planters. Rather than using the hoe and cutlass, we'll begin to produce high-quality seeds that you can plant all the year round. Some of them will be flood resistant. Some are meant for higher ground. Some are meant for swampy areas. So we talk about resilience agriculture. We will improve our post-harvest losses. Today, in season, you all see it, mango, everything is rotting away. Half of what we produce is lost. Transportation systems, packaging systems are faulty. These are all opportunities for growth. When you improve them, you increase value. You create jobs. You create wealth. And this wealth translates into shared prosperity. In the health sector, Nigerian researchers and medical professionals have also achieved significant milestones. In disease management, in vaccine research, in maternal health studies and public health interventions. Again, even Third Fund joined during the COVID-19 pandemic. We were able to sponsor the development of a vaccine. It came in very close to the end of the COVID pandemic. But it is there, and they are modifying them now to be able to also address things like Lassa fever and all sorts of other ailments that plague us. So that the threat that we faced at the time when we couldn't get vaccines, because everybody was using the vaccines, I cannot be producing vaccines, my people are dying, and I'll give it to you. So I'll use it at home first. So even vaccine security is a national health issue. So now we've moved into local production of medical equipment and supplies. One area we have recorded some success is in the financial sector. Fintechs have grown. And here, the chairman of MoneyPoint was here not long ago. You hear of OPay. You have so many other payment systems. And indeed, we've done so well that many of our young men and women with IT experience now are being attracted to leave the country, to leave our shores. If you go to many of our banks now, the IC departments are empty because the people have gone in search of greener pastures. My attitude towards exporting human capital has always been, don't worry, produce more. Just have enough to handle your own economy. Those that are going outside, if you go to Silicon Valley today, most of the CEOs are Indians. And India has benefited from it because they have a way of giving back. They have a way of wanting to send back to their countries those experience, knowledge, and talents, and even the resources that they get. And that is why India is number 3 in the world today in technology, because its diaspora population always give back. So while some of these milestones I've talked about, including the digital payment systems and financial service innovations that have been done, are commendable, but they remain relatively isolated given the scale of Nigeria's development needs. Many research institutions still face the challenges of inadequate infrastructure, weak laboratory systems, limited funding, and poor collaboration frameworks. These challenges hinder researchers' ability to compete globally or even to generate solutions at the scale needed for national transformation. We've been talking about research funding. You'll be shocked that UNESCO has confirmed that Nigeria, for example, invests less than 1% of its GDP on research. That will not take us anywhere. Other countries are doing between 5 to even as high as 17%. And so many institutions across the country today have forgotten about research, product development. They just want to consume. They are outposts for marketing other people's inventions. So that's a major challenge. And I'm aware government is working out a particular framework currently to see how we can mobilize resources from various sources to be able to channel them into technology and innovation. TETFund on its own in the last 3 years has tripled our allocations for research and innovation funding, including one of the messages I'm going to be giving you today. Mr. President has approved that we set up a Students' Innovation Fund. What that means is that if, as a student, you have any idea, any product, any solution that you develop, go through any of your lecturers to the Director of Research or the Vice Chancellor of Research and Development in your university. They will bring it to our attention. And we will support you to take that product all the way to adoption. And we will commit as much as 50 million for each student that has a promising discovery. These are some of the things, I'm preempting my closing remarks, but these are some of the things we need to do in this country. We already have some we are doing for your lecturers, and I'll highlight a few of them. Your VC also mentioned a few of them. But we want the young people who are the more creative, who are the ones that are savvy with technology, to take the lead, and that is why we are creating this special purpose for you. The other challenges that our research experience or research community experience is inadequate infrastructure. Many doctors and researchers who leave the country say they do so because there are no facilities at home to carry out research. No modern equipment. You cannot even test certain things that you want to do. There is no steady power in our laboratories. So how can you preserve specimens under controlled conditions? And even where these are, many of them are archaic, obsolete, and researchers are forced to work under conditions that limit experimentation, innovation, and advanced scientific inquiry. That challenge does not only undermine research quality, but also discourage young scholars and innovators from pursuing particularly big and ambitious projects. The other major constraint is the very weak relationship between our universities and industry. In countries with strong research and innovation ecosystems, universities and industries work closely to identify problems, to fund research, to develop prototypes, and to commercialize innovations. In Nigeria, however, this link remains very, very weak. Many industries rarely invest in university-based research, while researchers often have limited understanding of markets and industrial needs. So we do research because we want to get promoted, because we want to become professors. We're not doing research to say, what are the needs of industry? What is the public looking forward to? What system, what product do we want to improve? What challenge is there? And so many of them are as old as some of us. How do you create efficiencies that ultimately people will be willing to pay for? And when they pay, how do they apply this to grow, to improve incomes? In the process of doing that, they will create jobs and accumulate wealth, which improve the standard of living and create additional demand, what we call effective demand. Demand is not only what you need, but if you are able to pay for it. And that is how countries grow. That is how countries stimulate their economy. So the triple helix concept, where government, industry, and academia work closely together. The government should set targets. You heard what happened in America. J.F. Kennedy came and said, look, by this date, we are going to go to the moon. That is a challenge to the scientific community. By so and so time, we will do this. We have been telling ourselves, by so and so date, we will stop gas flaring in our country. Yet today, we are flaring gas, yet gas is not available for domestic use. Gas is not available to power our turbines. What kind of people are we? Another issue is the issue of the brain drain. I told you I have a mixed reaction to it. But there is a reality that as long as we do not provide the right atmosphere, as well as long as we do not recognize, this is the way I look at it, if we do not adequately reward knowledge, if we do not recognize the primary role that knowledge plays in an economy, by respecting lecturers, by paying them remunerations that is fit, that retains their dignity, and encourages them to put in their best efforts. If we don't do that, what do we have? We will have people you are going to see very soon, professors wanting to go and become PA to local government chairman, because they need to feed their families. So we have our priorities upside down. But the brain drain, the danger of the brain drain is that some of the best brains, some of the best hands are now finding greener pastures abroad. Whether they are doctors, they are lecturers, and so many of our students will experience that when they tell you a particular lecturer, oh, the man has gone, oh, he's now in Canada, oh, he's now in the UK. And others who should be working here will now be encouraged to be looking forward to how to get there. The other constraint is policy inconsistency and weak implementation frameworks. Again, we have initiatives. We are very good in developing plans. And we give it very fancy names. But a new administration comes, instead of pursuing that plan, which is supposed to be long, medium, and long term, they forget about it and begin to create another one. So we are permanently at the stage of creation of policies. And we launch with so much welfare and fanfare whatever policy we announce, but we do not do the hard work of implementing, monitoring, evaluating, adjusting, and ensuring that it makes meaningful impact on society. Regrettably, the culture of commercialization within Nigerian universities also remains weak. Many researchers still view research primarily as an academic exercise, rather than a process capable of generating economic value. Consequently, issues relating to intellectual property protection, patent registration, product development, and business incubation are often neglected. The challenge of poor data management and limited access to reliable national statistics also affects research quality in Nigeria. Effective research depends heavily on accurate, reliable, and accessible data. However, in many sectors, researchers struggle to obtain current and credible information needed for evidence-based analysis as well as policy recommendations. This often affects the credibility and the applicability of research findings. Furthermore, again, I'm returning to this topic of insecurity, because it affects everything. The uncertainty it creates in the minds of people. And in our research community, it's even more profound, because researchers that conduct field studies in conflict-prone areas frequently encounter safety risks. I remember at the time, some researchers from the University of Maiduguri were trying to conduct a search for oil in that particular Lake Chad basin, and they were kidnapped. And it took almost 6 months. Imagine being in captivity, a professor. Before God, in that particular case, we were lucky, they were saved. This type of situation does not encourage people. One, it restricts movement, and it also presents logistic difficulties for researchers. I do not want to just preach a culture of gloom alone. But as I said, since we have identified our national priorities, where we have comparative advantage, Nigeria has one of the best soils in the world. So in agriculture, if we can modernize our agriculture, if we can commercialize our agriculture, we will be a major powerhouse in the global economy. Just by reducing inefficiencies, reducing waste, improving processes, improving yield. When you use high-quality seeds, your yield increases. And that increase in yield translates directly to income for farmers. So it will attract people. When you use modern equipment, it removes drudgery from agriculture. When you do effective packaging systems and supply chain systems, it reduces waste and post-harvest losses. So that increases your revenue and income. And the reason why many students do not want to study agriculture is because there are no commercial firms to employ them. So you study agriculture, you go and look for work elsewhere. And they'll be tossing you up and down. Yet, that is practically around the world one of the most profitable areas for you to invest in. We also are very richly endowed with mineral resources. Only 2 weeks ago, I was in Nasarawa to open a new hub that will promote mining in our country. TERTFund is doing a whole lot of that. We have so many, more than 45 hubs we are now spreading to give young people the modern techniques and ways of undertaking research that are mapping all the mineral resources across the country, identifying where they are most prevalent, the best systems for extracting them. And these technologies are available. It's just for us to harness them, to teach our young men and women to do it, and they will be the engine of growth of our national economy. So let me pause and just hint a few things about what we are doing at TERTFund, so that my colleagues will not ask me to refund the money that was used to send me here. They've told you what TERTFund is. We are an intervention agency. We are supposed to provide supplemental, even though, unfortunately, many of the owners of universities are no longer funding them adequately. So we are taking from supplemental. We are becoming more like the primary source of funding for tertiary institutions. And over time, we've established some reputation in the area of providing infrastructure. This hall, these classrooms, hostels, and so on. Again, another message for you from Mr. President. When I met with him, he gave me 3 specific instructions for students. And we are obeying it. 1, students' accommodation. He showed me a video of University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where the hostel was. I couldn't even finish looking at it. But luckily for me, I had seen that video before. And he said, you cannot be telling me, because I went there with very beautiful pictures of new projects we have done and all that. He was looking at it saying, hey, you mean you did all of this? And I said, then he said, okay, what about? He just brought that. At the time, our constraint was we couldn't intervene in old projects that were not built by TED Fund. That was our rule. But that day, it changed. And that is why you see your VC will start renovating your hostels. And yesterday, he forced me to make a commitment. He said he has 9 hostels. It's only one that he has been able to renovate. And that next year, he wants to renovate 3 of them. And I had no choice but to say, I will support you in that regard. But the good news is that we are building new hostels in 120 tertiary institutions today, this year alone. And we have adopted 2 models, both PPP and direct construction. So Nigerian students, your welfare is a concern for Mr. President. We are following that. We've seen us commission so many of those ones coming up very soon. And you see it will also go around all our campuses. Where we are not building new hostels, we will give them money to renovate the existing ones, so that they can also make improvement. Water, light, all the sanitation facilities should be available to you. So your learning experience will be improved. Another area he gave me a challenge was on campus transportation. So again, we did a pilot last year. We did only about, how many, Buhari there? How many institutions did you do? We started with just about 20 vehicles for how many? 12 institutions. We just started with that. This year, we have quadrupled that number. We are now providing campus transportation for students. And we are using electric vehicles so that the cost of operation and running costs will be very little. He has asked us to scale up. He said it's not enough. He's not hearing the students talk about it, because your NANS also visits him. He also donated some CNG buses. I don't know whether some came here to Ife. We are going to be doing more of campus transportation for students. And let me tell you another secret. I hope the media is not going to quote me on this. If you have not registered to collect your student loan, go and do it now. Go and do it now. Don't worry about how am I going to pay. I will not open my mouth too wide. You can read my lips. Take your loan now if you are having difficulty going to school. If your parents cannot pay, the president has made adequate arrangements. TED Fund is supporting them. We have given the student loans fund over 280 billion. Because we want to expand to cover every student that will need that money. And additional funding is being mobilized everywhere to ensure that Nigerian students are not going to stay out of school because of the circumstance of their parents. And we are grateful to Mr. President for that. In the area of research, we are doing quite a few things that I will just summarize for you. First, we've re-engineered the entire architecture of our interventions in the R&D by creating new initiatives, supporting old initiatives, and also investing heavily in research infrastructure. So we have 2 ways of intervening in research. The first one, we give money to your schools. We call it institutional-based research. That is the one that your lecturers use to conduct basic research, understanding phenomena, and so many things. And that is going on in the university because we want it to be, as I told you earlier, where ideas get incubated, discovery, needs assessment, collaboration with industry. We want to be able to fund that with that. But we also establish a national research fund. And we have a monitoring committee for that. They do selection, and we have now 15 different thematic areas covering all critical sectors of the national economy. So any researcher in Nigeria today that has a great idea has the opportunity to send that idea. They will review it. Each year, we just approved last week the next batch, Dr. Zingina. How much are we disbursing? How much and for how many researchers? 175 research teams, different research teams. And total amount, do you recall a rough idea? 7.5 billion. We are distributing to lecturers across all our institutions for research. This was just last week. You have not gotten the letter yet because we just approved it last week. But the letters are going to come out. And by the time I go back, you begin to see them. Then, of course, there are so many initiatives. You'll be hearing things like TED Fair, R4I. These are programs we are using to support our lecturers. Early in my administration, we sent over 1,800 lecturers to foreign countries to go and study how they conduct research in their countries, how they can apply for research grants, and in what ways we can get the kind of hand-holding that we can get. And when they came back, we decided to cascade it down because we called it a train-the-trainer program so that they can also now train locally within the institutions. And we are encouraging that through our various collaborations with many countries that your Vice Chancellor alluded to. When we discovered, indeed, about 873 other lecturers benefited from our R4I, Research for Innovation, as well as our TED Fair programs. Later in the year, we're going to do an exhibition of all research findings and the viable ones across the country. This one, we're not even limiting it to lecturers alone. Anybody that has an idea, a new product, in November, Eagle Square, for 5 days, they will come and showcase it. And we are going to invite people who can uptake, who will fund startups, the business community, the banks, and so on to come. There are going to be some seminars, research papers, so that we can begin to make a lot of noise and make people become aware of these research findings so that they can uptake them and translate them to goods and services. Because that is, if you do any research that nobody consumes, it is not research. Then, of course, in the area of infrastructure, we are building 6 multidisciplinary research laboratories across the country. When they are ready, we will no longer need to be sending samples abroad or looking for people where we go and do bench work and other things. And we have located them strategically in all the geopolitical zones in the country, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Nsukka, in Maiduguri, in Bayero, Kano, and in addition to that, in recognition that education is no longer about just collecting certificates and looking for employment, we are creating innovation hubs on our campuses. 45 of them are currently under development. And only 2 weeks ago, we approved contracts for upgrade of ICT centers and establishment of new centers. I'm sure some of you will have heard, the First Lady went to commission one of our ICT centers in Ekiti State University a few days ago. When we started it, normally we do we did 6 of them as pilot. The remaining 5 are ready, they'll be commissioned very soon. But this year, we've gone full scale. About 50 other institutions are going to benefit from this intervention, including OAU. In addition to that, because we know that OAU is one of our centers of excellence for emerging technology and digital literacy. Only on Monday, today is Wednesday, 2 days ago, I also signed a 500 million additional funding for that particular center so that they can do more in what they are doing. Let me try and run and hurry. Recognizing, again, as I said, the role of centers of excellence in institutionalizing research, we have now moved from the 30 that I told you, because this year, approval has been given for the establishment of 6 new centers of excellence. with focus on robotics, AI, cybersecurity, and technology. These 6 centers are again spread across the country so that they can focus on that. So given the complexity surrounding employability and the need for education to be responsive to the needs of society, the fund is strategically establishing innovation hubs and experience centers, as I mentioned earlier. The hubs are expected to provide the enabling environment for conducive groundbreaking research and development of innovative technologies and solutions to drive national development, thereby stimulating the triple helix system. While the ICT centers will obviate the current challenges of inadequate ICT infrastructure, limited access to emerging technologies, and inadequate digital skills development platforms. We've created a big platform. And again, if you are a student, please ensure it's at no cost to you. Insist that the administration enlist you, onboard you to the TERAS platform. If you have not heard about the TERAS platform, it is an aggregated platform created by TED Fund for use of all our beneficiary institutions. And we have put so many educational content and resources on that you can access free of charge, including learning management systems, including things, certification courses that you can on your own just follow at your own time, and when you finish, you get that certification, which is an additional qualification. So you don't have to rely only on the certificate at the university, because these are the job-ready areas where the industry are looking for people. And we have put them on the platform. Even an anti-plagiarism checker, so that you can check your assignments before you submit them, so your lecturers will not say you went to copy. And it is, as I said, free of charge to you, because we have put data sets on it, that if you are on our identity system and you approach that and you enter the system, everything that is available there, you are not going to pay a single penny. And you can carry out research. There's access to more than 400 libraries. I didn't say books. Libraries on that platform. So any subject area you want to do research in, if you don't need to worry about whether the textbook is in the library, you can go online and access those resources. So make sure, again, another major achievement of the present administration. So let me conclude, because we've been here for a while. Now, research and innovation remain very key drivers of national development. The nations that have achieved sustained economic growth and technological advancement have done so through deliberate investment in knowledge generation, scientific inquiry, and practical innovation. In today's global economy, development does not depend on natural resources anymore, but on the capacity to create, to apply, and to commercialize knowledge. That is why I'm so passionate about us according respect and recognition for knowledge. In those countries, if you are knowledgeable, you are respected. You are treasured. They are seen as national assets. When I was in agriculture, I went with Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the immediate past president of the African Development Bank. We went to China. And we went to see the man that was instrumental to the transformation of Chinese society through only one crop, rice. He developed varieties of rice that multiplied the yield in China by 5 through one discovery. And because of their burgeoning population, food was a crisis at that time. When he did that, it transformed the entire, because it was largely an agrarian economy at the time. So farmers suddenly realized that they can produce, for the same parcel of land, they can get yields 5 times, meaning their income is just like multiplying your salary by 5. And suddenly farmers now started owning television because it stimulates demand. The moment you have money in your pocket, now you start looking for something to buy. You start replacing some of the things you have. and your appetite for other things will begin to grow. That is how you stimulate demand for those who produce those things. And for them to produce it, they need to employ people. They need to buy new raw materials. So it is a cycle, and that is how economies grow. And when we went to see him, if you saw the way, the man was an old man, was already in his 80s. He was still living in his laboratory. He had a lab. His house is just like a 2-room something. Nothing, not all this acquiring billion. No. Simple. But if you saw the arrangement and the aura around him, when the minister for agriculture took us to him, he was the one that led us. From the door, he was bowing like this to go and see this man, because of what he was able to do to transform his society. We must respect knowledge. We must respect expertise. We must give merit, prominence. There are things that if you want to give food to everybody, give to everybody. But if you say somebody should go and represent us, why will you just say pick anybody? You pick the best. Because by the time they do well, all of us take the credit for it, because they are representing all of us. And so we must recognize merit in this country, whether it's in education, in politics, anything. Once you begin to do that, people now begin to strive to meet that standard. If I know I can never get into a university if I have 3 credits, I will work harder. But if I know somebody is going with 3 credits, next time I want to go with 2, because I may know a bigger person. Nigeria's development challenges, though significant, also present opportunities for innovation-driven transformation. By the time we begin to address issues such as unemployment, insecurity, hunger, healthcare limitations, industrial underdevelopment, and technological dependence, we'll be right there. But it requires sustained investment in research and innovation systems that generate practical solutions suited to our local realities. The education family will be eternally grateful to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his laser-beam focus on this endeavor. And this is his charge to the minister. He says, you can say all the grammar you want and how many policies you have done and so on. What I want is for the youths of this country to have opportunity, that they can express themselves, they can use their God-given talent to improve our society, grow our economy, earn enough income to feed themselves and their families and to live a prosperous life. That once you do that, I don't care about any other ministry or anything that is happening, because that is what growth is about. That is what the economy is about. Because any other one depends on this industry to produce the manpower for them to carry out. Because when you do that, you produce good doctors, good engineers, good architects, and so on. Those are the ones that we go and operate in other places. So we are the engine room. And the young people that are put in our care are those that we should prepare, even in terms of global competitiveness. There is a very big demographic dividend waiting for us. All these advanced countries I'm talking to you about, many of them are experiencing negative growth in population. They're experiencing aging population. That's why they're looking for our nurses to come and help look after their old people and all that. But they are also, it means they are also coming short in terms of labor force. But the labor force they're looking for are not those who carry hoe and cutlass. They are looking for intelligent young people who are well imbibed with knowledge and skills in problem solving, who can analyze situations and come up with solutions, who can make things, who are innovative and creative. So we need to invest in preparing that population so that they will fill those gaps in those countries. And the good thing about today's world is that you don't have to physically move to those countries to work for them. You can sit down here and work for global companies through outsourcing. And the benefits will come to our country. So we should seize that initiative, invest in our young people, promote research and development. And as we do that, we will grow our economy and we'll have shared prosperity for all. So finally, Nigeria's development largely depends on how effective we are at leveraging knowledge, innovation, and technology to grow our national economy, to expand opportunities for our people, to create jobs and wealth, to develop new products and services, and to improve the well-being of our people. This is essential, in fact, existential for national growth, competitiveness, and the long-term stability of our country. I thank you most sincerely for the honor of coming here to speak to you. I congratulate you heartily on your 65th birthday anniversary, anniversary of your establishment. And I have an important announcement to make. Please sit down. I am aware that today it's not only a day for speeches, as the VC and the Pro-Chancellor have said. We have an important assignment. First, I want to commend the university for the initiative of establishing the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center for Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment. It is a very fitting epitaph to somebody who believes so much in our youths. You can see, even from his cabinet, he has the largest number of young people who have been made ministers, chief executive. Even your own JAMB, the new registrar of JAMB is only 39 years old, though. So he recognized talent, he knows how to use young people, and he's focused on you. So to name a center like this after him, and also in appreciation of the tremendous support that Mr. President has lent to TED Fund. TED Fund, in the last 3 years of President Tinubu's administration, has received more funding than the previous 8 years of the fund. In recognition of that and in appreciation of that, TED Fund will want to support this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's center to enable you to take off quickly. So we will start with a contribution of 2 billion naira. The Board of Trustees, under Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, considered this, and the Minister for Education supported it, and for this, we have already provided the funding this year. Because Mr. President is a good product, we encourage you to source other ways of getting funds to supplement, because I know the cost is put about 10 billion. But we assure you that TED Fund will not leave you. We will continue to support you until this project is realized. I thank you once again for your very kind attention. God bless you. God bless Great Ife.
Please, we may be seated, please, for now. Yeah, please bring it down. Please, once again, I may not be a mathematician. I may not be an accountant either. But I know the importance of 2 billion naira. Once again, with the exception of the members of the entourage of the Dr. SONNY ECHONO, please, other members of the university, please stand. Now, you have clapped for the 2 billion naira given to us by the TET Fund under the leadership of architect Dr. SONNY ECHONO. Now, he now made a statement that he is not going to leave OAU. Now, another clap. You can make it much louder. The louder the assistance. The Pro-Chancellor, thank you, sir, for standing. The louder the assistance. Thank you very much, sir. Please remain standing. I call on Professor Grace Akinola, our TET Fund Director. Please come forward here. Sir, please, you may step here, sir. 2 billion. Break it down. Please remain standing as I call on the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council. Please step forward, sir. The Vice-Chancellor, please follow your Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council. Please, camera. Sir, I want you to have a handshake with him. This is a marketing strategy. Thank you very much. I want to add, under the instruction of the Vice Chancellor, to please ask our Finance Minister, Mrs. Abogan, please come forward here. Break it down. Now, because when the money comes again after the 2 billion, it's going to land in your account. Now, bring that in, ma. Award. Then you give it to the Vice Chancellor. Mr. Vice Chancellor, give it to your Pro-Chancellor. Because, like, the award is very significant that it will not be touched by just one hand.
The Executive Secretary of TET Fund, on behalf of the management and the council of the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, this is presented to you in appreciation of what you are doing for the university and what you are doing to Nigeria institutions of learning all over. We thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough. We cannot appreciate you enough. But God Almighty will do that the more. Thank you.
We can do much better. Please, we have...
Thank you very much. Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, Nigeria, 65th anniversary. Award of Excellence in Transformational Leadership in Research and Innovation, presented to architect SONNY ECHONO, FNIA OON, the Executive Secretary, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. This day, June 3rd, 2026. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Please, We still have yet another gift for the ES.
Again, just a token in recognition of your exceptional leadership and commitment to driving national development through research and innovation. On the occasion of the special lecture and pre-launch of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center of Excellence, marking the 65th anniversary of our university, Obafemi University, Ile-Ife. This day, 3rd of June, 2026, with a theme, 65 years of excellence, honoring the past and engineering the future. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Congrats.
Please, we remain standing. Unto whom much is given, much is expected. ES spoke to the students, and the students, under the representatives of the students from the Faculty of Science and Mass Communication, we want to do presentation. Faculty of Science, please come forward. These are greater tomorrow. Put your hands together for this young star here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Distinguished Secretary. On behalf of the Nigerian Association of Science Students, my name is Ayodele John, and I happen to be the president of this association. And we, on behalf of OAU students, we want to thank you. I want to thank the entirety of TET Fund for their commitment and their unwavering dedication to ensuring the future of research is safe. And from our small purse, we want to present a little token on behalf of these students to you. This is just to give you a reminder of Great Ife. So maybe when you get to your office, you can just put it in front of you and look, and then remember, think of us, think of Great Ife. Thank you very much. Yes, I would like to also make a request on behalf of the students. You've spoken so much about research and the purpose of research, and I believe that majority of the students, one of our biggest issues is that we cannot apply the theories we learn in the laboratory. So we want to ask that on behalf of the students, you help to establish a biotechnology laboratory in Faculty of Science, as that will also foster and to put OAU as a leading university in biotechnology. It will promote research, innovation, and practical application for students. That's what I want to request. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sir, the student from Mass Communication and Media Studies, please come here.
Okay, sir. So the entire student of Communication and Media Studies under the Nigerian Sociology and Anthropology Student Association is presenting this token to you, sir, to show your appreciation for our beautiful building founded by TET Fund. As the department continues to grow, so does the need for resources and facilities to support effective learning and development. We appreciate your efforts, sir, and as Oliver Twist would request for more, we hereby request for more facilities and resources, as well as a studio for the communication students to make learning easier, and the department as a whole would appreciate if this is attended to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I hope my directors are taking note. Thank you.
Now, please hold it. ES TET Fund, Architect Dr. SONNY ECHONO said he hoped that his directors are taking note. Must come a louder round of applause. Sir, with your kind permission, another presentation. Okay. Presentation galore. My brother, please come and take this.
No, again, yeah, I mean, I don't think there is any gift that could be, the number of gifts that could be enough to really appreciate what the Executive Secretary has been doing through his great office, the Third Fund office. And so we are presenting this as an addition to what had been presented before, to really appreciate you and appreciate your team in totality. Thank you very much. I will continue to wish you all the best.
Please, hold on. With due respect, sir, I don't want the, bring it down. Please, I want the VC to go home peacefully. And I want to call on, with due respect to you, sir, with your kind permission, sir, I want to call on the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Home Affairs, Dr. Bosse Bamere, to please come forward and join our husband here. And I want to call on Chairman Committee of Deans to please come and stand by the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, Professor Yinka Adesina. After this picture, the Chairman Committee of Deans and the wife of the VC will go back to their seats, and I call on the members of the management, and after that, members of council in that order. Please, yes, please, with due respect. Within the next 2 minutes, we are through with this picture. Real camera, please do your job. Please, we can be seated. No. Are you true? Oh, yeah, ma'am. Now, principal officers, please come forward. Principal officers, please come forward. Yes, you can go. Principal officers, please come forward quickly. And I want the members of council to please get set. Principal officers, quickly. Please, let's make it. Please hold it. Provost, please come here, sir. And please, after this picture, this shot, members of council, are you through the camera? Members of council, those who are using phone are faster than you. Are you true? Okay, please, thank you, principal officers, members of council. And please, with due respect to the ES, the last one will be the deans of faculties who are here. Deans of faculty. Now, please, read camera. Yes, the deans of the faculties. Deans of faculties. Yes. Please, we want you to spread. Yes, please. Make it snappy, make it snappy, make it snappy. Vice Dean Student Affairs, please come and join them. Yes, everybody is captured. Please, okay, just 20 seconds. Oh yeah, make it snappy. And after that, with the kind permission of the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, Your Excellency, I want to call on the members of the entourage, the directors of the of the ES here. And after that, after the program, we want to play with the ES that the broadcast media will have an interview with you downstairs, sir. And with the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council and the Vice-Chancellor. Please, the members of the entourage of Executive Secretary, and please, Madam, the second female president, please come forward, ma. Please, I can shift this podium if you don't mind. Are you true? Thank you. The members of LOC. LOC, they say we should come. LOC, please come. LOC. Now please come to the right hand of this announcer here. DVC Research, please come here, sir. LOC, come here, Adewara. Please. Hold on for the director of audit too. Thank you very much. Third Fund Office. Oh, you Third Fund Office, are you here? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, yeah. I call on the DVC card for the.
The Executive Secretary of Third Fund, we want to again thank you so much. Today serves as the day for the pre-launching of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment Center. And we've started on a good note. At least the Third Fund has promised $2 billion for a start. And we are sure that we are going to get more. But before we go on, I think it's also better for us to see exactly what we are talking about with respect to the center. And then we are trying to show the overview of the center. And what we are trying to do here is to present a comprehensive plan for the establishment of Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center for Excellence in Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. And when we are trying to come up with this center, we believe that the center is envisioned as a world-class facility dedicated to fostering intercultural understanding, youth development, leadership training, innovation, and policy dialogue within Nigeria and across Africa. Because we believe that there is an urgent need for institutional frameworks that will promote, number one, national unity and intercultural dialogue. Number two, youth empowerment and leadership development. Number three, innovation and entrepreneurship. And the last one, policy research and global engagement. Now we try to identify about 5 aims of the center. The first aim is for the center to promote intercultural dialogue and national integration. Number 2 is to provide leadership and capacity building programs for youth. And number 3 is to serve as a research hub for policy and governance studies. Number 4, to support innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology development. Number 5, host national and international conferences for the youth. And then we are focusing not only on Nigerian youth, but African youth. And also to facilitate collaboration between academia, government, and the industry. Now we've tried to identify 3 major components of this project. The first component is the academic and conference complex, comprises the following: 1,000-seat auditorium. There's going to be 3 lecture theaters, seminar and training rooms, simulation translation facilities, offices for researchers and fellows, policy and data laboratories, and also digital library and archives. This is to the tune of 3.5 billion naira. So that is the first component. We have the second component, which is the residential and guest facilities, plus external infrastructure. And we are looking at 100 rooms that we tag visiting scholars' apartments. And then there's going to be a kind of road network and parking areas, including security infrastructure, solar hybrid power system, backup generators, and water supply and treatment systems. That one is going to cost about 4 billion naira. And so the entire cost implication is about 10 billion naira with what we've done so far. And I'm just trying to show us the real 3D of this building. Can we see the 3D? Yeah. So this is exactly what we are focusing on. It's going to have the academic conference center, and then we are going to have a kind of guest house there. And the intention, the idea behind this project is for us to also train not our youth in Nigeria, but also for the youth from African countries. And for us to do that, we need a very good accommodations, because that is one of the major problems why most of these students are not ready to come to most of our institutions in Nigeria, because of the environment. So, and that is why we're also introducing that Scholars Lodge, where we have about 100 rooms that are well structured in such a way that as a youth, you can be at that center for like 2-3 months, you can receive your training, and then you can go back to any part of the world. So that is the master plan. So we have the architectural, the 3Ds there. We already have the mechanical and electrical drawing. Everything is complete. And I'm assuring the third fund that once we are able to receive the first tranche of the money, the work will start in earnest. And the idea is that within the next 6 months, we want this project to be completed. And for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be here to commission this building, because this is going to be a legacy project for OAU, for Nigeria, and then for Africa in general. Now, when we put the kind of infrastructure on ground, we are not talking of a building, but we are talking of a legacy project that can be sustained. Most of the facilities here, within the space of time, like 3-4 years, we can rake in more than 10 billion to support this after this project is on, because most of these youth that will come from other African countries, we also paid for all this training that we are talking about. We have a lot of applications from so many students outside this country, but because of those infrastructures that are not really in good shape. I remember when we started the World Bank project, those students that we invited from most of these African countries, they said they are not coming here because most of the infrastructure were not good. However, from the funding of the World Bank, we were able to renovate the postgraduate hall, and after that, we received more than 60 or 70 of these students. They did their MSc and PhD here, and all of them, in fact, we've retained about 4 of them as lecturers in this same Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So, and that is why we want to provide that enabling environment that can compete with any other environment in the world. So our expectation by the time this project is up and running is that we are going to train at least 10,000 youths annually. That is the focus. And I want to assure you, sir, this year alone, over 40,000 students picked OAU as their university of first choice. And out of that 40,000, 60,000, 65,000 students. Now we have, how many of them score above 200? We have about 22,000 students that score above 200. And then we are even planning to even take all of them, if possible. 20,000 students. Because last year we took in about, how many students? 11,800 students. Because you see, you have a lot of these students outside. So if we have these facilities now, we can take more of these students to provide education for them. So I'm saying that even the infrastructure of our own grant is not enough to satisfy most of these students. If by the time we are done from here, and then you go to our ICT park, where we are developing the Park for Africa, we have a lot of incubation center there. That place is already jam-packed now. It's oversubscribed. We have a lot of our students even staying in those laboratories without going to their hostel. And then they are really doing a lot of fantastic work. We have a lot of spin-off companies coming out of that place. So the space is not even enough again now to really accommodate most of these students, even alone for our own students on campus. So, and that is why we are really emphasizing. So this facility is going to promote training of 10,000 youths annually, both from Nigeria and outside Nigeria, because we are going to have a lot of short-term training programs. It will also serve as a hub for international conference for the youth, because every year we continue to organize a lot of conferences for the youth in the area of intercultural dialogue, entrepreneurship, and also leadership. And then it's going to promote national unity and cultural understanding. That's another expected outcomes of this project. And also it's going to be a source of funding for sustainability and improving investment portfolio of the university. We are saying we should not be depending on government funding again, but assuring us that once this project is on ground, definitely funding will be coming in to really do a lot of other activities on campus. And then it's also going to be an opportunity for us to have a kind of reduction in employment rates among others in Nigeria. So in conclusion, we are saying that Intercultural Dialogue and Youth Empowerment Center represent a strategic investment in Nigerians' future, and it will serve as a flagship institution for youth development, cultural integration, and global engagement. So the proposed 10 billion investment is justified by the scale, functionality, and long-term impact of the center. So this is our story, sir, the Executive Secretary of TERTIARY. And what I want to do now is to hand over this document to you officially. I will first of all give it to my Vice Chancellor, who is my boss, who is going to hand over to the Pro Chancellor and Chairman of Council, and then the Chairman of Council will hand it over to you. And then once we are able to get the first tranche, we are going to start in earnest. And then we expect that universities always ask for more. I'm sure that another 3 billion will come in the next 2 months to ensure that, can we clap now? It's already approved. So I'm sure that with that additional 3 billion to make it 5 billion, we are really good to go. And I want to say that by the time we want to commence the foundation laying ceremony of this project, I want to, with the permission of my Vice Chancellor and the Pro Chancellor and Chairman of Council, I want to formally invite you to lay the foundation of that building. Pro Chancellor, sir, is that approved? My VC, is that approved? The entire university community, that approved? God bless you, sir.
check, check. Yes, thank you.
Your Excellency, sir. Your Excellency, sir, the Executive Secretary of TED Fund. Like the Vice Chancellor said, when we were inside, I made an allusion to the fact that you should assist me, assist the management and the university to have a legacy project.
What to you, my Davisy?
Thank you, Piero. First, to again return all the glory to God that we feast today. And it has come to pass. And I am happy. I don't know, are you all happy? You want to say thank God? Thank God for today. Let me start from our students who came. We know that you have lectures, all kind. And I think after hearing the good news, they started leaving. Okay. But for those of you who are here, we want to sincerely appreciate you. And I think you are happy. If you did not listen to every of those lectures, there was an advice for you to make sure you register for NEL Fund. I hope you heard that. As you are leaving, tell your colleagues, register for what? NEL Fund. So our professor staff, the HODs, deans, who have been here since morning, thank you so much for coming. Today is the third day, 3 out of 5. God will energize us. It's a good celebration. It's our 65th anniversary. Happy 65th anniversary. You say hooray. Thank you so much. And to all of our guys, our deans, provosts who are here, a member of university administration, thank you so much. And our council members, thank you. I think you are happy. Professor, you are not smiling now. You are very happy. If you're happy, clap your hands now. Thank you so much. And to the organizing committee, this 3 all over 5. You've done well. No, 3 all over 8. Let me start from this far left. Mr. Buhari, I'm using you as a point of contact to those who have followed the ES from Abuja. This is Great Ife. Nobody comes to Ife and go back the same. As you have come, God will bless your coming. And as you are going, God will bless your going. Thank you so much for all that you do. The university know your name very well, particularly Mr. Buhari. You are top on our prayers, and God will continue to strengthen you. Thank you so much. Chairman, Organizing Committee. I never knew you were a prince until today. Aderoma Adeshola. Oh, the Prince of Tede. Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do. Professor Adebayo Sunday Bamire Simeon. God bless you, sir. I think we clap for him. Thank you. Sincerely, we want to appreciate you. You are a great leader. Thank you so much. Thank you all for all that you do. We are learning. And we are working yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yinka is here? And we said something that may God continue to give many of you to this university. Thank you for the light that you brought. We are eternally grateful. Thank you so much. God will renew your strength. And I'm also using, you are Professor Sunday, and we have Dr. Bosse. So I pray for you. I pray for Dr. Bosse Bamire too. God will bless her for us. Thank you so much, Mommy. God bless. Now, my chairman of council. Please, I hope you even clap, just mentioning her name. Listen. God will bless you, sir. God will bless you for what you do. As the visit said, not quite long, but we can see the impact almost immediately. I'm not from Ekiti, but even stomach infrastructure is good. And I hope you understand, sir. And I greeted you even this morning for the stomach infrastructure that you added even to it. I won't go too far so that people will not snatch that from me. Thank you so much. We were with him last week. He fed us, we were almost fed up. Thank you, sir. I was there when the VC called you. The way you responded was so cheering to us. You said you will cancel everything. So if ES is coming, you said you will cancel it and you will come. Sincerely, we are grateful. Thank you so much. Now to the ES. ES. The outstanding man. Thank you, sir. Thank you for what you are doing for Nigeria as a whole. Sincerely, we are grateful, sir. And for OAU, thank you for your imprint. We are grateful. Last year, we planned to invite you for a leadership award, but some things happened. But this year, we invited you, and you came even a day before. We are grateful, sir. Thank you so much. Your lecture, I sat down there and I was listening to your lecture. And I'm sure that generations to come will quote what you have said, because that's the only pathway towards national development. It's not just a theoretical lecture. I listened very carefully. Thank you so much for those beautiful things that you have said. And for this first tranche of 2 billion. When you call that 2 billion, I shook my head. It's shaking. And when my Oga came, DVC Akkad, he was also talking about 3 or 4 billion. I was, DVC, what did you say? Is it 3 or 4? And for the many other billions you will sign for us, God will enable your hand. Your pen will not run dry. In Jesus' name, God will prosper you. You are ES today and we are celebrating you. You will be greater than ES by the special grace of God. Without any iota of doubt, we are sincerely proud of you. Thank you so much, sir. And we are grateful. God bless.
Yes, thank you very much. We also appreciate the members of the entourage of His Excellency, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, and of course, the technical advisor. Thank you very much. And all the members of the directors, the members of the entourage of TS. And of course, the second female president of Nigerian Institute of Architects. Madam, thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the Pro-Chancellor, sir, you said the other time that the ES is not from this university. With due respect, sir, he is a member of this university. In fact, he's a graduate of this university. Now, please, I'm not joking. The DVC said it rightly here. The content, the delivery of the lecture is characteristics of those who graduated from this university. And if you look at him, his mien, his courage, his grace, the way, you know it now. You know it. So how can somebody or a university lay claim to somebody who might be have graduated from other university, but in learning and character and delivery is a product of this university? Please give it to ES, Jare. We can do much better for him. Sir, that logo, that thing they put on you, it will be in our calendar next year. And the VC and the Pro-Chancellor will come and deliver 100 copies to you. So I want to see a university that will lay claim to you other than Ife. Yes, we have come to the end of this program. And we want to give glory to God Almighty. But please permit me to recognize the members of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee. I have Olajire, Oladele, Adeleke here. Where are you, madam? Stand for recognition. Tokumbo Ogunfowokan is there. And of course, we have Femi from the VC's office, who was also part of us, handling the camera. My colleagues, the Vanguard, the Punch, the Tribune, and the Nation, thank you very much. The TVC and Arise, thank you very much for being here. Mr. Vice Chancellor, throughout this program, and Great FM, that's our radio station, they are operating on 94.5 frequency modulation, and they are fantastic. In fact, they beam this live. They suspend all programs and all presentations. Mr. Vice Chancellor, we have the Dean of the Basic Medical Sciences and other here. But throughout, including students and yourself and everybody, the law did not allow the medical students and medical doctors and nurses to do anything here. So, no medical accident. And shall we please stand for Gratify Anthem and the first stanza of the national anthem. Thank you very much. Can you play it?
Africa's most beautiful campus. Cautious, vigilant, progressive, alert against all oppression. Forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle. Great effect, I love you. There's only one great effect in the universe. Another great effect is a counterfeit. Great, 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 great.
The first stanza of the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland.
Good afternoon, good night.
Great effect. Great effect. Africa's most beautiful campus. Conscious, vigilant, progressive. A looter against all oppression. Forward ever, never. Backward never. Never. For learning and culture, sports and struggle. Great effect. I love you. Vigilant, progressive, a looter against all